And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I found these games from Goliath. They all look like little spices. And of course, we know one of the best spices in the world is chili spice. Today we're looking at a game called Chili. Anyway, little small games to carry around, kind of a micro game, I guess, in some sense of the word. Let's take a look. The game comes with a bunch of little tiny cards here. You can see how small these are that are numbered from 1 to 40, and they start green. It's kind of the chili motif here, with the ones all the way up to 40, which is quite red. So each player is going to get 4 of those. Players are also going to have 10 chilies that they start with. All right, and these are kind of victory points. So at the beginning of each round, each player is going to ante a chili to the middle of the table. Then one person is going to put a card on the table, and they're going to say, this card is higher than whatever number they want. Now, this number is really a 5. And I'll say, this card is higher than 3. No problem. The next person then either has to call me out on that, or they can do something higher. So they'll say, this card is higher than 10. The next person puts a card out and goes, this card is higher than 11. As long as the number they say is higher than the last person. The next person puts a card out and says, this number is higher than 15. What? But it isn't. Yeah, that's because you can say whatever you want. Then the next person says, you know what? I think you're lying. Whenever you think someone's lying, you put 2 chili peppers in the middle of the pot, unless you're doing it out of turn, in which case you'd put 3. When you accuse someone of lying, you reveal the top card. If you were correct and they were lying, you get all these peppers. If you are incorrect and they weren't lying, then they get all the peppers. Either way, we take all the peppers, we discard all these cards, we start a new round, everyone antes a pepper, and we keep going until one player is out of peppers, in which case they're out of the game, and whoever has the most peppers wins, or until we've gone through the stack of cards twice, and then whoever has the most peppers is the winner. You're going to be constantly redrawing up to 4 cards from your hand, and obviously as you see cards go out, you'll know more information. Well, like I said, simple game. Now this is really similar to Liar's Dice or any kind of bluffing game, Coyote, where there was things in your head, similar to that, except this one is small. So we'll give it some leeway. I'm not usually a fan, as if you watch my things, of games that are small for the sake of being small. And this one really kind of veers into that territory, where this could have worked as maybe a bigger game, like a card game, where the cards were actual size. These little round cards are to move around and do stuff with. I mean, sure, I love the packaging here and everything. Now, the game itself is good. It could be better. There certainly is, the impetus is on the person who is lying. Because when you get all the chili peppers from the mill, you have to put 2 in to make an accusation. Well, you get those back if you're right, but if you're wrong, the other person gets them. So the person being accused has it better off, right? Because they didn't have to put anything up and they can win some. When you accuse, you get your own 2 that you put in back. Well, big deal. In fact, as a 2-player game, I think that kind of grinds us to a bit of a halt. In a multiplayer game, it's not as big of a deal because there's more people putting peppers in. But in a 2-player game, if I call you out, I actually gain 1 pepper on that because we both anteed up a pepper. Then I had to put 2 peppers in to accuse you, and so I win 4 peppers, but I only won 1. In a multiplayer game where there's multiple people throwing a pepper in the middle, that's not as big of a problem. So I like the peppers. They're good quality. The whole thing is a cool packaging. You can put this in your spice shelf. Someone pulls it out, like, what is this? You're like, haha, tricked you, trying to play a board game. Maybe. Yes, Liar's Dice and other games like that are better than this. So the reason this one gets the approval from me is its size. The rules were kind of ambiguous on when you discard cards, can you see what they are? We played that you could. That way you can look and say, you said it's higher than a 30? And I see a 32, 33, 34, 36, 37 there. I don't know. I don't think you have one of those numbers in your hands. We found that made the game a little bit more fun. But anyway, that is Chili. Dice Tower Judgment approved.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.